All right, I'm gonna give it a second and see if anybody's gonna hop on here. I know it's an odd time of the day to be doing a live, but I'm sitting out here waiting on Owen to get out of school, and I just kind of wanted to come and talk to y'all today about my why I started, decided to jump on this Limelife venture. Most of y'all know that I have been a cosmetologist and done hair for 22 years. And I've had a great career doing it. And it is very taxing. It's physically taxing on your body. And I have a lot of trouble with my shoulders. I've got to go Wednesday and have an MRI on my shoulder because it really bothers me doing hair. And so when I jumped in and started selling Limelight without ever using one product, not one product, I watched from afar, I watched how it had changed some of the people that were using Limelight. I watched a couple of my friends, and you know, the makeup is great, it's awesome, but if you don't use the skincare and have a good canvas before you start, you're not going to have as well of the results on your face. So I kind of started watching people, and I was noticing the difference in their face, and it was a dramatic difference. I mean, a major difference in how it was like reversing the aging process on their face. And so that's what made me buy into it. So it wasn't really the money for me. It was what I was watching, how I was watching their face look so much younger. It was bringing the youthfulness back to them. And I've tried every makeup out there. And as far as foundation, there's nothing out there that tops it. It's a professional product that has been around. The company has been around since 1952. And it was only available for professional makeup artists. And so the CEO decided they wanted to offer it to people, normal people, so that they could. What are you saying? Love the natural colors and the pop today. Thank you. This is what I was telling you about. This is the lip color I was telling you about that you need to try. But in the midst of that, when you start selling it, you do start making money off of it. And when you start making money off of it, you know, you start to see a difference. And, you know, I have a son to raise. And so for me, that's a difference too. You know, you want to have a good life for your child and for your household. And, you know, I'm a single mother. And so my son is my top priority, and making sure he has a good life is all I really care about. And so, you know, I'm going back to school to start a new career so that I can make sure that when he goes to college, I can help afford him to go to college. And I had other plans for that, and those, you know, life is funny. Things change. So, you know, my why may be different than what your why is, why someone else sells it. Some people treat this as a hobby. Some people just do it to make a little bit of money, or they do it just to play in the makeup. And that's great. That's fine if that's what it is for you. But for some people, it's a business, and they treat it as a business. And they work their business every day. And that's great. It really depends on what you want to use it for. And for me, you know, I'm treating it as a business because I know that I cannot continue to do hair for the next 20 years. My body is breaking down. You know, I have done it for 22 years, and it's breaking down. And, you know, I have seen people that, you know, have been able to quit their jobs because they are making enough money to support themselves, making more than what their salary was at their job. And I'm not saying it's all about money, because it's not. You know, being able to make other people look pretty and feel good about themselves, that's what I've done for the last 22 years. And so I'm trying to take another route. of doing that. And doing makeup on someone is not near as physical as spending 2 to 3 hours coloring their hair. So, you know, if you're interested in making a little bit of extra money, you know, you really ought to think about what kind of opportunities this company offers. And it's not like any other company. Like, you know, they email us and everybody finds out stuff at the same time. Even the top people at the top of the company, they don't find out anything any sooner than the people at the bottom of the rank. And our CEO, she gets on, and we get videos from her, and everybody sees this video. We get news straight from her. She's very active in the company. And that's one thing I think that sets apart this company from other direct sales companies. And I had been asked to join several other direct companies, and I just saw so many amazing results that their skincare was doing on these people. It was reversing the aging, wrinkles were disappearing, all this stuff. And so, you know, if you don't know and you're not sure about it, just try one product. Try the foundation. I promise you, you will never go back to another one. And, you know, my son asked me what I was doing with it, and, you know, I told him, and I shared with him what it has done so far, and he was like, oh my God, Mom, that's amazing. You know, I told him what I had done last month and what I had done this month, and he was blown away. And I could see how proud he was of me. And that, you know, it just touched me so much. And so, you know, your kids are always watching you and what you're doing for them. And so, you know, people really, you know, they look up to you, and you just never know. Anytime I start talking about it, people start asking what it is, what about it do I like, what's my favorite product, what would I, if I had to choose one product for them to get, what would it be? And I have to tell them, or I have to ask them, is your face, do you have oily skin or do you have dry skin? Because that makes a big difference of what I would tell them to get. So I just, you know, kind of wanted to share some of those things with y'all while I'm sitting here waiting on Owen to get out of school, as I've had to rush around all day today and go get immunizations to finish my paperwork for orientation tomorrow. So I've been stuck about 3 times in different arms. So that's been real fun today. So, you know, if you're thinking about trying the product, you know, there are a bunch of beauty guides here in this area. Get with your beauty guide. Ask them about the product. Ask them to come do your makeup. I mean, I carry my box. It's sitting right here beside me. I carry my kit. I carry my kit with everything I have in it around me. I carry it to work, in my car, wherever I go. Because somebody's going to come in and ask me about it. And I'll be like, hey, won't you let me do your makeup just so you can see how it feels? And, you know, I do a consultation just so they know and so they can tell. And I would rather color match them with what I have than try to guess what they might wear. So everybody's kind of different the way they do it, and I'm more hands-on with it. I'd rather put it on them and let them wear it so they can see how it is. My mother has wore the same makeup. She has worn more Norman all her life. And so finally yesterday she broke down and let me do her makeup. And I asked her last night how she liked it, or if she liked it, or what happened. And their church group took the kids on a hayride last night in the drizzling rain and stuff like that. And she said, well, you know, it made it through a hayride in the rain and all that. So she said, I'm thinking it's a keeper. So it just stays on so long. And Shannon's on here. She told me that she slept in hers and got up the next morning and kind of just dabbed a little bit more on there and smoothed it out and was able to wear it the next day. So if that tells you anything, how good the foundation is, that is saying a lot. I have not slept with mine because I'm really trying to do this 30-day challenge with the skincare just so I can see and take pictures to see how much difference I can notice in my skin. Because like I've told y'all before, I'm 42 and I don't want my face to ever look any older than what it does right now. I'm wanting to stop the aging if I can. So that's pretty much all I have for y'all as I'm waiting on Owen to get out of school. As I'm trying to get him to try some of this face wash, because you know how boys are, they don't really want to wash their face, and he doesn't really care if he has pimples or not, and I do. I'm trying to keep him from getting these notifications about school getting out early tomorrow. I'm trying to keep him from having acne, because I never had a problem with acne, and his dad didn't either, so I don't know where he's getting this, other than he just doesn't care about washing his face. And he's at that age where he's got to start caring about it, or he's going to have scarring. And I think we all know we don't want our kids' face to look that way. So now that I've outed my son on that he didn't want to wash his face, I don't know how many of y'all have this going on with their 14-year-old boys and girls that don't care about keeping their face clean. I'd like to know. So if you watch this in the replay, I really would like to know comments on how many of y'all have a problem with your kids keeping their face clean, and have a problem with your kids with acne, because our skincare line is really good at clearing up acne. So that's pretty much all I have. Everybody's why they're doing this is different. You know, I'm not sure that I'll make a whole lot of money at this, but any extra money that I can make, I will gladly take. So, y'all all have a good afternoon. Bye.